Well, welcome everyone to the Bowling University studio from the International Bowling Campus here in Arlington, Texas. Welcome to the Profit Break. If you're joining us for the first time, we're glad you're here. Give us 15 minutes and you're going to be well on your way to improving yourself and your profitability. Now, understanding the role that LinkedIn should play in your digital marketing efforts can be confusing for small business owners. But we have someone with us today that will help answer the questions and more. So on today's show, we're going to visit with Miss Tami Wloch. Tami's a director with strategic and creative marketing, where for over 5 years, she and her team have been helping small businesses just like yours by providing marketing services for companies, including expertise in social media. Now today, Tami's going to share with us the 5 changes to your LinkedIn profile that you're going to want to start it on right away. Tami, great to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, hey, before we dig into today's tips for those that maybe haven't had the chance to meet you or hear you at one of our sessions, one of the interesting things I love about you is that you're on the LinkedIn advisory panels. So tell us a little bit about what that is, how that works, and what you get to see kind of peeking behind the curtain there.
Sure. LinkedIn approached me about 5 years ago now, and they were looking for people to be on their advisory panels, both for products that are out now, beta testing new products, talking about the experiences we have and our clients have using the LinkedIn ads. And I joined up, and so I do surveys for them, oh my goodness, at least 3 times a week. But what we get in return is a rep that trains me and my staff about exactly what's new and great on LinkedIn every single month. They review our campaigns, they look at our clients' ads, and the nice thing is that really what it results in is our ads that we run for our clients get a much lower cost per click and huge engagement rates. So we know what's working, we know what's not working anymore, we know when to change tactics, and LinkedIn's there to back us up.
Yeah, well, you're really getting kind of a peek behind the curtain ahead of time to know what some of those trends are that are coming. So that's great. We thank you for sharing some of that with us today. So I want to start out with this, and this might lead in a little bit to some of your 5 tips you're going to share with this, but thinking strategically, one of the kind of crossroads that I think we have to answer first is, when you think about LinkedIn, should you build a page as yourself representing the brand, or are you speaking in the voice of the brand? And as small businesses, what should we be doing in that space?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, because I know most people have their own personal account on LinkedIn, and probably many of the center owners have a personal account, and maybe they're sending out things that are written about the center or promoting their bowling center. But it's really important for you to have a separate business page on LinkedIn for your center. And the reason for that is, first of all, people, when they're thinking about joining a league or even booking a birthday party, they're going to want to look up your center 8 to 12 times online. So having that separate business page, when they type in the name of your center, it's going to come up right away. People see that as a legitimate sort of thing. They want to know that you're a real place, that you've been in business forever. So it is very important for you to establish that separate page. And another reason for that is because you're going to get data about who is coming and looking at what you're posting. And that will tell you, are moms most interested in your post? Do you have 20-something guys that are looking for leagues? It really offers you free insights into how you should be marketing in general, and who's interested in your center and why. So those are some definite benefits. As well, of course, you always get your contact information out there in as many places as possible.
So key first step, while it's okay to have a personal page, you really need to have a LinkedIn page for your business, just for all the reasons that you mentioned. So we've got that kind of first decision point that we need to make sure we do.
Yes.
Awesome. So
yes,
kind of tip number 2, you talk about having a great banner. Walk us through why and how do we do that?
Yes. So most people, when they open up their business page, there's that big blank space at the top, and no one thinks of putting a photo in there. But you really should, because that is just basically a free billboard on LinkedIn. Anyone who clicks over to your center page is going to see that banner. So you don't want it to be static. You want to change it as often as possible. But some basic rules are, the first one is that it should be light and bright. So think of white backgrounds, bright blue backgrounds, bright green backgrounds. Of course, make sure it matches your brand, it matches the colors that you use in your logo, but bright is best. The second thing is that you should put people in it. And people who are looking straight at the camera get the most engagement. So people just naturally, when they see someone looking at them, even if it's a photo, they will stop and look back. So that's really important. It stops the scroll. It stops them just like skipping around. If they see a picture of a person, they're going to stop and look. So make sure there's people, and make sure those are people who are actually in your center. So look at everything from, who they are, what is their age, what is their ethnicity, where are they located. So when the picture goes up, they're going to see themselves as a customer in that photo. And then always make sure your information for contact is at the top. So on that banner, put your website and put your phone number, because people have very different ways they want to contact you, and they're not going to take the time to look it up. So if you grab their attention and then they can't figure out how to call you about the birthday party or how to sign up for the league, then you've lost them. So all of those things are really important reasons why you need to have a great banner.
Yeah, and even just in that banner, you gave us 3 or 4 great tips, because it's more than just putting that picture. And sadly, sometimes I see somebody with some great descriptors and a picture of an empty building with no guest.
Exactly. Yes. Or a picture of, I've seen this, like the back of the building where there's an alley or something. Like, what? No. Make sure it looks fun and enticing for people.
Yeah, good tips. So we've got a great banner. We built out our own page. We've got a great banner. One of the questions we get a lot at the university here is, what's the frequency? How often should I be communicating? And how much is too much and how much is not enough?
Absolutely. So I think one of the things to remember about LinkedIn is that people are on there for business. And so places like Facebook or Instagram, you can post a little more often. You could post a couple times a week. But people are usually only on LinkedIn maybe 1 or 2 times a week. So if you're posting once a week, that should be plenty. Another nice thing too, I should mention about people on LinkedIn is that the people who are on LinkedIn are the highest income earners of any platform. So these people have money to spend that are on LinkedIn. They usually have great jobs. So, if you have, a gambling center within yours, or if your leagues are a little more high end, or if your birthday parties, if you offer some that are basic, but then some that are really extravagant, the people that are on LinkedIn are the people who are going to be able to pay for those services. So what you should do for posting is make a list first of your services that you offer that make you the most money. Because although everyone may come in the door to order a slice of pizza and a Coke, maybe that's not where you're making your most money. So if your leagues are making you the most money, make sure that you're posting about those quite often. So write posts about those, write posts about your birthday parties, write posts about your highest scores that people have gotten over the week. People love to see things that are like that. So don't worry, though, that if you can't post 5 days a week, not necessary. Once a week, once every other week on LinkedIn is perfectly fine. But just like your banner, make sure that you have your contact information in the content of every single post. And every post has to have a picture. And I know that through Bowling University that there are pictures out there and there are suggestions for content. So they have access to that. Use what they have and put it on your LinkedIn page.
Yeah, well, thank you, Tami. Thank you for the plug there through the Social Media Content Bank.
Yeah.
Certainly try to provide some resources for our members there. So one of your tips that I find a little unique that maybe is not at first blush you would think of is you really are passionate about joining groups and the 80-20 rule. Tell us a little bit about that and what that means.
Absolutely. So groups are free for anyone to join that are on LinkedIn. And when you go to join groups, you want to think of a couple things. So first, take that list that you've made of who your best customers are, and then start looking for groups where they would be a member. So for example, if you want to reach out to moms that would be booking birthday parties or signing their young kids up for leagues or maybe for lessons, so there's probably not going to be a group for moms who are interested in bowling on LinkedIn, but there will be a lot of groups that target women, say ages 21 to 30, like young Chicago professionals or young business owners in the Orlando area. Those groups you will find a lot of. So think of that when you join groups. Think of who's my target, what groups would they be in? A lot of times when people get on, they just link to other bowling centers, which is also a great idea. A lot of business owners network that way or get ideas from other centers. But if you want to use it for business, you should definitely be joining groups that would have your best potential people in them. And then you do have to follow what we call the 80-20 rule. So if you join a group and you jump right in and put an ad up for, we have openings with this league, sign up today. Two things will happen. One, people will just outright ignore it because they don't know who you are. Or worst case, you'll get kicked out of the group. Because groups are there for communication. And yes, you can share business ads, but not right away. So the 80-20 rule, you just think of it as 80% of the time, you just want to be conversing in the group. So, go on once a week and see what everyone's talking about and add some insight into it. If you're on with, male business professionals who are in the Dallas area, you're a business professional, you can add to that conversation. So 80% of the time, just add to the conversation. So maybe 8 times you post, then the other 2 times that you post, you can go ahead and run those ads or say, hey, I thought the group might be interested in this. We have a coupon coming up for, $5 bowling, all night Wednesday, something like that. So as long as you're kind of maintaining that ratio of 80% of the time conversing and only 20% of the time running ads, so to speak, you'll be fine. You'll be welcomed into the groups. And another thing that you want to do is make sure that the groups you join are local, because that's where you're drawing your most people from, are local. So make sure that they're groups that have the name of your town, the name of your county in the title, so that you know that you're reaching the right geographic group. And another great thing is sometimes people don't think about this. You say, okay, well, I have all these things that I want consumers to join up with, or to spend money at. But another great way to bring people into your center is to offer to host networking meetings. People are always looking for great spaces that are big enough to hold, monthly networking meetings where there'll be anywhere between 20 and 100 people. And for you, you have the space, usually it's mornings, or early afternoon that they're doing it. So it's probably not fully utilized. That will bring 100 people into your facility for free every single month. And as you know, as a business owner, once people walk in the door and see all the great things you have to offer, that's when they start converting to customers. So think about that. Also think about renting your meeting space. So you could rent out things that are happening in your area. So if people are saying, oh, I want to host this event for other people, offer your space up as hosting as well.
Yeah, that is great too. We are the perfect venues for those networking type events. Before we let you go today, Ms. Tami, let's sneak in that last tip that you have. And while we started off saying that it's important that you have that professional page, that business page, you are a believer that you should still spend time growing your personal page. And tell me how you weave those together as this final tip on how do you take your personal page to grow your brand?
So one of the really nice things about LinkedIn is that other platforms are what I call completely monetized, which means if you have 1,000 people following your page on Facebook, when you post things, only about 1% of the people ever see that post in their feed because they want you to pay for those ads. LinkedIn still does allow anything you post to go out to all of your followers, the people you're connected with. So it's definitely worth it to get a lot of connections. So the easiest way to do this is LinkedIn offers you up people that they think you should be connected to. And again, think of this not as connecting to other business owners, which you can do that, that's fine, but you probably won't get business this way. You want to connect to other people who are going to be great customers for you. So my suggestion is the easiest way to do this is to pick a day of the week. So let's say Monday afternoon, you usually have some open time. And this honestly takes all of 15 minutes. Go into your LinkedIn account, find the page for connections, and just look at who LinkedIn has suggested to you and just send out a connection request. It's as easy as hitting the button to ask for a connection. You can send it out blank, so to speak, and a lot of people will probably connect to you, but they also offer you a chance to write a little introduction, so it gives people a reason to connect to you. And I think the best one that you can use is, hey, I see you're located in X city. We're looking to connect to other people in our community. So that way it shows right away you're a local business owner and you have something in common. You're both part of the same community. And then just sit back and watch the connections come in, because then when you post, all of those people are going to be seeing what you're posting. So it's a real advantage to have as many connections as possible. I have over 11,000. So when I post, it gets a lot of free airtime.
Yeah, great tips. Well, Tami, great to see you again. Thanks for joining us and sharing those great tips on LinkedIn today.
Yes, thanks so much for having me.
Our pleasure. So, hey, folks, if you have questions for Tami or like to learn more, you can reach her at Tami@scmarketinginc.com. If you're ready to start improving your profitability, you can reach us anytime at education@bpa.com. So as we wrap up another edition of the Profit Break, remember, when your focus is on growing people, people will grow your business. This episode, as well as all our previous Profit Break episodes, are available 24/7 to you and your team at bowlinguniversity.net. Plus, we have new episodes every month. Mark your calendar, watch your email, join us on Facebook, hear about all the latest episodes. Until then, I'm Bart Berger, and remember, do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. We'll see you next time.